My word I'm taking into this new year is welcoming, and with that, I'm welcoming the achievements and things that meant a lot to me last year, including publishing my book, Desperate to Be Loved. And I'm going to start sharing a little of that. I've started to really reconnect with it and read moments and what do I need to hear. And I thought it feels right to share that. After speaking with a friend, I thought that's what I'm going to start to share. And I like tarot cards, I like guidance and signs, so it's what I've started to do is just flick through the book and see what I need to hear today, and I'm going to share that with you out of my own words and learning from my book Desperate to Be Loved. This is my first ever copy. It's looking a bit tattered now and it's still got the not for resale on the front. But yes, what do I need to hear today? Page 218. Every single person on the planet has a story. Recently, when on holiday in Wales, sat alone on the beach looking out to sea, a man with a frisbee caught my eye. Again, I'd seen him the day before and was intrigued by his commitment to this practice he repeated time and time again. On this day, he continued to throw his frisbee into the wind, high up in the air, catching it every time. It was truly fascinating to watch. I got caught up watching him for some time, and only when I heard the noise of my family coming to join me did I take my eyes off him. "What are you doing, Mum?" "I'm fascinated by the man with the frisbee. I'm trying to work out the reasoning behind the movement with his other arm," I replied. The movement between each throw was the same each time, almost like one-sided Tai Chi. My family all proceeded with their own version and assumptions and judgments of this movement, with crazy far-fetched stories, some unkind. And then I declared, I'm going to ask him, each of them telling me not to, and he could be a crazy man, etc. Anyway, off I went across the beach, some distance away. I was just so intrigued. I approached him, introduced myself, and said, "I hope you don't mind, but I wonder what it is you're doing with your left arm." I'd taken note of him being right-handed and throwing the frisbee with this hand. He informed me that if he didn't do the left-hand movements, he would be like a long-armed ape, as all the movement with throwing the frisbee was with his right arm. So he did this sequence in between to balance it out. It seemed to make a lot of sense and just goes to show not to judge the man as crazy. I asked him what had brought him here. To my amazement, he started off with saying this: "I'm just here. I come here each and every day and just be with my frisbee." He shared some further insights on his life. He had 5 daughters, 1 adopted, and moved to Wales in 1974, living in caravans for 25 years. He commented on the extreme heat down there. It was a particularly hot August, and how he would just come and sit in the sea. Then he welcomed me to stand beside him. He said it's important to get the right wind and how he is always aware of the wind, its direction and speed, and that he'd like to give advice to windsurfers, but he wouldn't. He said this with a toothless smile and drew my attention to his missing front teeth. He made me smile as he told me his front teeth weren't missing due to being knocked out by a frisbee, just down to old age. I told him I couldn't imagine a man with these skills would knock out his front teeth with a frisbee, and we smiled. He continued to throw the frisbee. I asked him what he does if dogs come along, seeing as they like to catch frisbees. "I just time it right," he replied. "I'm always aware of what's happening in this moment." He said many other things, including the importance of having a 135 frisbee weighing 135 grams, and frowned upon the shop selling 175s. Not to use a frisbee with a hole in, only the solid kind. There's a small beach on Aberporth, exceedingly difficult to catch the right wind. He had a bag with the Tree of Life on the front, with frisbees inside. Old broken frisbees he used as ashtrays or ornaments. I stood beside him for what felt like not long at all, and before I knew it, half an hour had passed, and I just watched the frisbee fly up, and every time it came back. He was so present with this. Right in this moment, his meditation, the frisbee itself. He was exactly where he was. He was okay with this. all his teeth missing, but he was so happy. And with this in mind, I want to share with you a meditation I wrote following my meeting of him. I hope this helps you open up to a little of the magic inside of you. And I have a recording of that meditation, but I won't share it here. But just rereading that now, it brings me so much joy. My meeting with the Frisbee man that day, and how we place judgments on things and people all the time. And there's so much magic in the simplest of moments, and so many lessons in the simplest of things. So until next time, thank you for listening.